How much time do I have?
15 minutes.
Oh gosh, okay, that's plenty of time. Thank you, Sandy, so much for having me. It's an honor to be with y'all, especially on Memorial Day. Curtis, good to see you again, sir. It's good to be back and see so many familiar faces. For those of you that I haven't met before, as Sandy said, my name is Greg Gebhardt. I am blessed to lead Military Missions in Action. When we heard taps this evening, that's the fourth time I've heard taps in the last 4 days. And if you don't get emotional during that, I just ask that you deliberately pause and think about what Memorial Day is truly for. I'm an Iraq War veteran myself. I've lost several friends downrange, and they wouldn't want you to mourn their loss. They'd want you to celebrate their life. So it doesn't need to be solemn, but it does need to be deliberate. And I can tell you to a T, the men and women that I served with downrange that unfortunately didn't come back, they'd want you to share a hearty laugh in their memory and share stories about them. Ernest Hemingway said, "A man dies two deaths, once when he breathes his last breath, and once when their name is spoken for the last time." So Mary, I don't know where you are, thank you for reading the names of those killed at Abbey Gate and that sailor lost on the Oklahoma, because if we don't say their names, their memory is lost forever, and we're not doing them justice to honor their sacrifice to our nation. So thank you for reading their names. It's very important. So, Military Missions in Action. As Sandy said, we're a North Carolina founded and focused veterans nonprofit. We were founded by Mike Dorman. Mike was a retired Coast Guardsman. Mike did, I believe, 27 years in the Coast Guard. And in 2006, 2007, after the surge in Iraq, the VA health system, as many of you know, was overwhelmed. We had a lot of service members coming back that had claims, had health issues, and they needed a lot of help, and the VA was just overwhelmed. We were not prepared for that influx of requests on our system. And so Mike founded MMIA to be there as a quick reaction force, if you will, to meet the needs of veterans and their families across the state of North Carolina. The first thing Mike did in 2007 when he had the idea for the organization is he sold his Harley-Davidson motorcycle, bought shingles, put them in a trailer, took them down to Oriental, North Carolina, put a roof on the home of a veteran in the fall of 2007. That was the first project at MMIA, and then the following April, Mike got the IRS certification, officially recognizing the nonprofit. So for the last 16 years, we've assisted over 131,000 veterans and their families across the state of North Carolina. We are a North Carolina-focused nonprofit. We only serve the 100 counties of the state of North Carolina. And I've had folks ask me, "Hey Greg, why don't you franchise this? Why don't you go nationwide?" Well, I can tell you right now, we can't, unfortunately, sadly, tragically, we cannot keep up with the demand on our services at Military Missions in Action right now. So for us to be naive enough to think that we could go outside the borders of the state and have an impact, we'd be doing a disservice to the veterans and the families right here in North Carolina. So what do? We offer 3 programs, soon to be 4. We send care packages overseas. That's our Fill the Footlocker program. We build ramps for disabled veterans. Any other home modifications, we'll find local contractors to do that work, but we do home modifications as well. And we run a furniture bank. We deliver furniture to veterans and their families in need all across the state of North Carolina. 2 weeks ago, our truck was in Asheville. Last week, we were in Salisbury and Charlotte. So we serve the entire state from our warehouse right here in Fuquay Arena. When I came on board on January 1st of 2023, we had 53 people on the wait list for furniture across the state. The year prior to that, we had made 74 deliveries. So 74 deliveries, 53 on the wait list. In 2023, we made 115 deliveries. So you think, man, you should be at negative, right? No, we had 36 families waiting for furniture across the state. It's a double-edged sword, right? The more good you do, the more people find out about you, and the more veterans, unfortunately, need our services. So we've made 61 deliveries as of last week, and we still have about 30 people on the wait list. The reason I spend so much time talking about that program, it's really the program that distinguishes us from any other veterans nonprofit, is our furniture bank. And what we found with our furniture bank is, in years past, we had made 3 dozen deliveries to the city of Durham. In 2023, we made less than 12. So what that is, as housing affordability becomes more and more of an issue in our urban centers, our veterans are being pushed further and further from the urban centers. Why is that a big deal? The treatment that they receive for their mental health and their physical health oftentimes comes in the urban centers. So it's only a matter of time before they fall right back into that cycle of not being able to maintain their wellness, whether it be physical, mental, spiritual, and they're back on the streets, right? So with the help of State Representative Aaron Paré and others at the General Assembly, Representative Clampett and others, we secured a state grant last year, and we are standing up a pilot program. Essentially, think of it as, well, it's a rideshare service for veterans in the greater Wake County community, because what we're finding is veterans are not making their appointments. They're habitually missing them. They're falling into illness again, and it's only a matter of time before they're back on the streets. So we have an app. I've got it on my phone. It's not ready for prime time yet. We are still beta testing it. We are working out all the kinks with it, but we will transport the first veteran to an appointment within the next 2 weeks here in the greater Wake County community. It's a big undertaking. But if not us, then who, right? Lastly, I just want to share with you, oh gosh, I got 10 minutes. I will not take all 10 minutes, I promise. And I'm not going to be that guy that says, oh, I won't take 10 minutes and then takes 20. I really won't take 10 minutes. I just want to share a story with you all. The impact that this organization and others like it across the state have on military missions in action and our veterans and our families across the state. Sandy invited me to speak here about a year ago and gathered a bunch of items for our Fill the Foot Locker program for us to send overseas. Well, as part of that donation, I left here with 2 trash bags full of canned goods and put them in my pickup truck on that Monday night. And I drove away thinking, what on God's green earth am I going to do with 2 trash bags full of canned goods? We will not send them overseas. It's cost prohibitive, right? You ship based on weight. So it's cost prohibitive for us to send those overseas. So what am I going to do with those? And so thought about it all night, went home, went to bed, woke up the next morning, and I went to our warehouse in Fuquay, and Sue is one of our volunteers. Her husband Randy is a Marine, and Sue was in the warehouse organizing some stuff, and I said, hey Sue, do you know what we're going to do with, or what I could do with 2 grocery bags full of canned goods? And she said, Greg, do you know Ruben? Mental Rolodex real quickly, Ruben. I said, Ruben, is that the veteran in Harnett County that we're helping to put an HVAC system in his home? And she said, yeah. Let me pause and take you back a little bit. About a month prior, Ruben, a Special Forces soldier down on his luck, was sitting at the Sheetz gas station at the corner of 401 and 55, if you know where that is in Fuquay, and he saw our truck pull up. He called the number and said, I haven't had heat or AC in my house in 18 months. Is that something y'all can help with? I just told you our programming. We don't do heat and AC, but as the Lord would have it, Element Heating and Air out of North Raleigh had come to us about 2 weeks prior and said we'd love to do an HVAC system for a veteran in need. We were able to get Ruben to help. And so she said, yeah, Ruben, the guy with the HVAC system, she said he called me this morning. His bank account's $400 in the red, and he doesn't know how he's going to feed his family this month. So I want y'all to know, I didn't know what I was going to do with that food when I left here Monday night, but the Lord knew what I was going to do with it on Tuesday morning. So I just want to thank this group for that. I drove that food down to Ruben's house in rural Harnett County. I knocked on his front door. I said, hey, are you Ruben? I'm Greg with Military Missions in Action. He said, yeah, I'm Ruben. I said, Ruben, Sue tells me that you could use some help. I said, I've got 2 boxes full of canned goods here for your family. And Ruben and I talked for about 15 to 20 minutes. For the first 6 or 7 minutes, he didn't look up and he didn't make eye contact. I can only suspect that's because he has a lot of pride, and he felt shame in that moment to know that he needed to ask for help for his family, right? And he didn't want it. I can tell you, as an Iraq War veteran myself, I'm not going to knock on your door and ask for help, right? I'm going to go knock on your door and see if you need help. Well, Ruben's built from the same mold. And so after about 6 or 7 minutes, he made eye contact with me, and I said, hey, there's no judgment here, man. We're here to help. We're here to walk alongside you. And I said, Ruben, I want you to know, as a kid who grew up myself in a food insecure home at times, I didn't eat until someone showed up on my doorstep with brown bags full of food. I said, this is what we're here for. This is why MMIA exists, and I'm just thankful that the Lord put you in my path today. So I share that with you to let you know that's the impact that this group and groups like this have on our veterans and their population, the veteran population across the state of North Carolina. We are on the ground, walking alongside veterans every day and their families across this state to meet their needs, free of judgment, any of that. We don't judge them one bit. We're just there to walk with them in their time of need. I'll give you a couple numbers. Last year, we assisted 4,639 veterans and their families across this state. And we did that with 2 full-time employees. So you're looking at 50% of the full-time employees at MMIA in front of you. We run largely on the backs of volunteers. So we couldn't do it without y'all. We appreciate all your support. If you want to get involved, you can find us on the web at Military Missions with an S, militarymissioninaction.org, or just Google MMIA. I'm sure it will pop up. But we would love to have you or your family or those that you know come volunteer at our warehouse. And I ask folks, if you do nothing else, there's 3 things that you can do that will cost you less than 90 seconds of your time. They don't cost you any money. Number 1, sign up for our newsletter on our website. We send 1 email a month, everything that we've done in the month and what's coming up. That would be one thing, sign up for our email. The second thing would be find us on Facebook. Facebook is our largest following, so find us on Facebook, like our page, Military Missions with an S in Action. Like us, share us. If there's a post on there that speaks to you, comment on it, share it, right? Puts us in this different algorithm. People put eyeballs on us that haven't previously seen us. And then finally, refer a veteran in need. We go to church with veterans. Your kids go to school with, the parents of veterans. You work with veterans. But if you wait for a veteran to come knock on your door and ask for help, you'll wait forever. They're not going to do it. We have too much pride, and we don't want to feel that shame that comes with having to ask for help. Because as veterans, we're trained to help others. And so it takes a lot for a veteran to ask for help. So I just ask that you look around your community, your sphere of influence, and if you see a veteran, just let them know, hey, I see you, and I know of resources that might be able to help you. So once again, Greg Gebhardt with Military Missions in Action. You can find us on the web at militarymissioninaction.org. Thank you for your support, and God bless you.